Shuttle by United presents Pacific 10 Conference Basketball. This afternoon, the Washington State Cougars visit the University of Washington Huskies. Heck Edmondson Pavilion sold out for the first time since 1999, and here's why. Washington State trying to keep alive in postseason tournament hopes. They are in fourth place right now in the Pac-10 Conference. Good afternoon, Keith Chipman, along with two-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year, Mark Eaton. Pleased you could join us today. And Mark, we can't overstate the importance of this game for Washington State.
No question. If you look at the remaining schedule of Washington State, they have today at Washington here, Arizona and Arizona State in Pullman next weekend, and then they have to travel to Stanford and Cal. They need to win 3 of those 5 games if they're going to have a chance for an NCAA berth.
One of the guys that's really stepped it up for Washington State, Shaman Antrim, who's having a great couple of weeks.
No question. He has really lit it up lately. Over the last 3 games, he scored 29, 24, and 27, and he is on fire.
If Washington is to have a chance to win today's game, they're going to have to shut down Antrim, and they're also going to have to get a very emotional performance from their team. That's what Bob Bender tells us going in.
Exactly. They have to play flawlessly today, and one of the big guys that's playing well for them right now is Mark Sanford, the freshman out of San Diego. He's averaging 17.8 points a game over the last 10 games, and is a real bright spot for the Washington Huskies right now.
We know Washington State. Here's Mark Sanford, a good look at him, the young man who will just fill it up from anywhere on the floor. Now, we know Washington State has an agenda today. They need to win to keep postseason hopes alive. Washington trying to finish strong to springboard to next season. We're coming back with opening lineups and the tip-off for today's game, the Basketball Apple Cup at Heck Edmondson Pavilion in Seattle. Shuttle by United presents Pacific 10 Conference Basketball. This afternoon, the Washington State Cougars visit their cross-state rival, the Washington Huskies. Heck Edmondson Pavilion sold out for the first time since 1989. And here's why. Washington State trying to stay in the hunt for a postseason berth, presently tied for 4th in the Pacific 10 Conference standings. Good afternoon, I'm Keith Chipman, along with two-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year, Mark Eaton. Mark, pleased you could join us today, and we cannot overstate the importance of this game for Washington State.
No question about it. If you look at Washington State's remaining schedule, they've got Washington today here, Arizona and Arizona State at home next week, and then at Stanford, at Cal. They need to win 3 of those 5 games if they're going to have a chance for an NCAA berth.
3 of the 5 against ranked opponents. Here's Shaman Antrim, one of the reasons the Cougars have been riding high the past few weeks.
No question. He's been playing great. Over the last 3 games, he scored 29, 24, and 27 points. He is on fire.
And Mark, Washington will have to shut down this young man today in order to have a chance in this game, stop his penetration, stop his outside shooting. Bob Bender has a lot on the line today too. His Washington Huskies want to finish strong looking ahead to next season.
They are playing for pride. They are a young team, but they do have their bright spots. One is Mark Sanford, who's been averaging 18 points a game over the last 10 games. He's leading the Pac-10 freshmen in scoring and doing an outstanding job for this young club.
And Washington State will have their hands full with the young man Mark Sanford today. Washington State, we know what their agenda is. Washington's capable of the upset. They beat Arizona here last year. We'll have the opening lineups for you, and today's tip-off from Pac-10's Heck Edmondson Pavilion as Washington State meets Washington. Shuttle by United presents Pacific 10 Conference Basketball. This afternoon, the Washington State University Cougars visit their cross-state rival, the Washington Huskies. Heck Edmondson Pavilion sold out for the first time since 1989, and here's why. Washington State trying to keep its postseason hopes alive. They're presently tied for 4th in the Pacific 10 Conference. Good afternoon, I'm Keith Chipman, along with two-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year, Mark Eaton. Mark, we're delighted you're with us today, and we cannot overstate the importance of this game for Washington State.
No question about it. If you look at the remaining games that Washington State has, they have today here at Washington, Arizona and Arizona State back in Pullman next week, and then they have to travel to Stanford and Cal. There's no question in my mind they must win 3 of those 5 games in order to have a chance for an NCAA berth.
3 of the 5 nationally ranked. One of the guys that's helped Washington State step it up the past couple of weeks, Shimon Antrim, in his first year in Pullman.
Yes, out of Dixie College, playing very good basketball. He's been a nice surprise for the Washington State Cougars. Over the last 3 games, he's had 29, 24, 27 points. He is on fire.
And Washington will have to stop this young man today, stop his penetration and his outside shooting ability. That's one of the things that Bob Bender has talked a lot about this week. His team struggling this year, 3-10 in Pac-10 play, but a lot to play for. They want to finish strong, looking ahead to next season.
Exactly. They're playing for pride today. They have a very young team, and a very bright spot for their young team is Mark Sanford, a young man, freshman out of San Diego Union High School. He has played very well this year. He's leading the Pac-10 in scoring at 15.2 a game. Over the last 10 games, he's averaged 17.8 points a game, so he's going to be fun to watch him to play today.
They call it the Basketball Apple Cup, and we're coming back with the opening lineups. Heck Edmondson Pavilion in Seattle sold out, rocking and rolling. We're coming back right after this. Today's game is being brought to you by Shuttle by United, by MCI, by Chrysler, and by Gillette Sensor XL. Washington State and Washington meeting in the 238th Basketball Apple Cup this afternoon at Heck Edmondson Pavilion in Seattle. And now let's have a look at the John Hancock starting lineups for this afternoon's game. First for Washington State, the 3-guard trio in the backcourt, perhaps one of the most underrated in the Pac-10 Conference. Ellison, Antrim, and Fontaine. Hendrickson and Mack up front, and they'll cause trouble for Washington today. Kevin Eastman in his first year in Pullman.
Yes, and Kevin is expecting a tough game from the Cougars today, and from the Huskies.
Washington led by Mark Sanford. He'll be in the front court with Jamie Booker. David Hawken in the middle. Hamilton, Bryant, Boston in the backcourt for Bob Bender's club, which is looking for its 4th Pac-10 Conference win of the year.
And Coach Bob Bender is looking for 40 minutes of solid ball from this young team.
So Washington and Washington State, we're coming back with the opening tip-off following this timeout. The Huskies have a sizable advantage in this series, Mark Eaton, but Washington State has won the past 4, and they're looking for their first 5-game winning streak over the Huskies since 1942, and that, oddly enough, was a year after the Cougars went to the NCAA Final Four and were runners-up in this country to a club from Wisconsin.
And again, we can't emphasize enough the importance of this game for the Washington State Cougars. They must win this game, I think, if they're going to have a chance for an NCAA berth.
Here are the officials for today's game. Mark Reichling is the referee. Bob Sidoff, Andy Rios, the umpires in today's contest. California has defeated USC this afternoon in the only other Pac-10 game that is complete. You're seeing Washington State and Washington on Raycom today. Tomorrow, UCLA will try to lock up the #1 spot in the country when they play Duke at Pauley Pavilion. We'll keep you updated on the rest of the Pac-10 action here on Raycom today as well. We're set to go. Keith Shipman, Mark Eaton courtside at Heck Edmondson Pavilion in Seattle. It is sold out. And Washington State will start things off. And Mark, the Huskies are going to try to throw some different defensive looks at Washington State today, and it may have worked right there.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. I think, well, Hendrickson was looking one way, and Isaac Fontaine was going the other way, but in any case, maybe you're correct.
That's the first turnover of the game, and Washington State will have to take better care of the basketball to beat a very emotional Husky team today. Here's Bryant Boston on the wing. Booker being guarded by Hendrickson. Mark Sanford, my, what a player he has become for the Washington Huskies. Now Washington resets with 10 on the shot clock. Boston had his shot blocked. Mack recovers, and here comes Washington State. Hendrickson.
That was a great block by Shimon Antrim to set that play up.
So the Cougars are out in front. 2-0 our score. And here's Hamilton. Sanford fires a 3. And Mack is fouled as he clears the rebound. Let's go back to that last play where Washington State really got the ball moving up floor.
Yep, here's a great pass down the court. Hendrickson with a nice finish.
That's Dominic Ellison with the assist. He's averaging 7 a game, second best in the Pac-10 Conference. Game just a minute old, and Washington State has a 2-point lead. Here's Antrim. Tries to force it inside, but travel.
Another tough turnover for him. You know, sometimes when you have an interstate rivalry like this, you get so pumped up, but sometimes you're too pumped up. And mistakes often happen early in a game like this.
You played in a lot of cross-state rivalries, actually cross-city rivalries. UCLA, your alma mater, and USC.
Always the biggest game of the year.
You never lost to them, did you?
I don't remember.
Well, Kevin Eastman would sure not like to lose to his cross-state rival. You had a good look at him right there. The Cougars won the first meeting this year. Here's Hamilton. Hawken with a rebound. Had it blocked by Mack. Booker underneath. The shot blocked, but he's going to be fouled. Tavares Mack with a foul. They're letting things go inside, aren't they?
A little bit, but a great effort on the part of the Huskies. They did a great job inside there, going after the basketball.
Let's have a look again. Hawken trying to go up.
Okay, the block by Tavares Mack. Let's see the foul here. Got him up in the air, right into him. Nice play.
Jamie Booker buries the free throw. He has now hit 19 of his past 20. He's shooting 73% from the free throw line. The young man from Portageville, Missouri, just a sophomore. He was recruited by Arkansas, Providence, Iowa State, and North Carolina State. Finally came to Washington. Very nearly a turnover for the Cougars. Booker made that play happen. The Cougars with 3 turnovers now. Here's Hamilton. He'll try to start things for the Huskies. Boston pops up jumper from the line. And Washington's been very aggressive on the boards thus far, Mark.
They have, and that's been good. They've taken a couple of quick shots. My own tempo was a concern, but when they have taken the shots, they have pounded the boards.
Washington State out-rebounded the Huskies 33-19 in the first meeting this year, which Washington State won 74-73 over in Pullman. That's a point of emphasis for Bob Bender's club today. Get to the glass. 10 on the shot clock. Hamilton penetrating. Hawkins.
Nice.
First 2 points for the young man from Maple Valley. Hendrickson around the horn to Fontaine. Looking low to Mack. Instead, Ellison, top of the circle. Now low to Hendrickson, working on Hawkins. Got it.
And that was good defense by Hawken. That's about as well as you can play him. And I know talking to Hawken yesterday, David was very emphatic about the fact that it was a personal challenge to take on Mark Hendrickson today.
Washington State perfect from the field. The Huskies just 1 of 6 thus far. Booker. And here's Shimon Antrim leading the break. Had it stripped away by a Husky team that holds a club record for steals. Sanford and a push out front.
All right. And here's a great steal. Bryant Boston gets a hand on it, kicks it loose, picked up by Booker. Oh. All right. And here we go with Sanford, a nice finish.
Bryant
and a
Boston.
foul underneath there.
Boston started the break. He is the school's single-season steal leader. He now has 56 in his career. The Huskies set a team record as well. Boston pops a jumper over Hendrickson.
Nice.
And the Huskies are in front by 3. Hendrickson got belted. That was Hawken who committed the foul.
Yep, Hawken just a half step late on that one.
That'll be the first personal foul on Hawken. Second team foul against the Washington Huskies. Cougars will start at their own baseline. Hendrickson off the feed from Ellison. Boy, he has really improved as a low post player, hasn't
He
he?
really has. I think he's shooting something like 68% lately from the floor, playing very well.
Has all 6 Cougar points thus far. Mark Hendrickson. Sanford turning around on Tavares Mack. And here come the Cougars. Ellison stripped of the ball, and a foul called this time. Foul's going to be on Mark Sanford. And with 15:48 to play, first half, Washington, the home team, with a 1-point advantage over their cross-state rival. Early going basketball Apple Cup, Washington with a 1-point lead, and Mark Hendrickson's been the story for Washington State thus far. He has all 6 Cougar points. He's 3 of 3 from the field. The Huskies shooting just 30% from the floor thus far.
And we're seeing why Mark Henderson was player of the week last week.
He's getting good shots inside, and he's now 4 of 4. And a great feed from Dominic Ellison. Cougars back in front. And Kevin Eastman said, calm down, be patient defensively. Boston all the way to the baseline.
Nice job by Tavares Mack tying him up down there, getting to the baseline.
Briefly stolen away by Fontaine. And
almost a big play there.
a fresh 35 for the Huskies on the shot clock. Hamilton being guarded by Hendrickson. And now Sanford for 3, and he's offline.
Well, and they are letting it go underneath there. There's a couple over the back calls, I thought.
And one of the points of emphasis by the officials this year is to try to clean up the post play down low, but they're letting a lot of contact take place right now.
Well, again, you look at the emotion of a game like this and the intensity, you know, as an interstate rival, and I think most officials understand in the early going that it's going to be some rough and tumble stuff out there.
Booker checking Fontaine. That's the first Cougar miss from the field. And a rebounding foul called on Tavares Mack, and that's 2 quick ones on Mack. Stay tuned at halftime when Dick Vitale presents the DirecTV Dish Out the Winners sweepstakes. Vitale was one of the guys that picked this Washington State team to finish 8th this year, but he wasn't alone. Street and Smith, the media, the sporting news, everybody was picking Washington State to have a down year under first-year head coach Kevin Eastman, but they have not done that at all.
No, he's done a remarkable job thus far.
Cougars have gone to the bench. David Vick in the lineup now as Mack is sitting down with 2 fouls. Hawken. Now Hamilton. 10 on the shot clock for Washington. Now 5. Booker with 2 on the clock. Sanford with a rebound. He's 1 for 5 today. Now Hawken is fouled going back to the glass.
And you know what set that whole thing up was the fact that Washington took their time. Sure, the shot clock ran down, but they didn't panic. All right, here we see Sanford getting the rebound, putting it back up, and a great effort by David Hawken going back up on the other side of the glass, using the rim, and trying to get up there, and he gets a foul.
And by showing that patience, Washington's able to control the tempo of the game a bit more. Washington State love to run up and down the floor all day.
Right, if you can make the other team play defense for 30 of those 35 seconds, you're a lot more, it's a lot easier to get in there for the offensive rebound. You wear them down each time down the court.
David Hawken, the senior, with 4 points now for Washington. He started the past 9 games for Bob Bender's club. Home team with a 1-point advantage. This is Chris Griffin, number 13. He's checked into the lineup for Washington State, replacing Ike Fontaine. Antrim on the wing, being checked by Hamilton. Now Vick. David Vick, 6'11", redshirt senior from Everett, his first 2 points.
Well known for his outside shooting touch.
The young man who has his own cheering section in Pullman. The students come out in full force, wear t-shirts with David Vick's name on them. Boston for a 3. Offline, Hawken with the tap in.
Another great effort by David Hawken.
And he has 6 points.
Washington State has to be worried about the offensive rebounding.
Griffin beneath to Vick, and it trickles out of bounds.
Okay, let's look at this last play again. Guys, David Hawken inside of Hendrickson. Got to put a body on him.
Jason Hartman is checked in for the Washington Huskies. He wears number 34. Here's Hawken. Had the ball knocked away by Hendrickson. Here come the Cougars. 3-on-3 break. Hendrickson low, being checked by Booker. Travel. Washington State not taking very good care of the basketball right now.
They have. They've turned over the ball quite a few times. Here it is on the screen. They have 8 turnovers already in this game. And this is a club that is usually very poised. And certainly they've got to cut that out if they expect to win today.
Very uncharacteristic of Kevin Eastman's club. Washington, on the other hand, just 2 turnovers. They committed 26 in their loss to Colorado on Wednesday night.
I know in all the wins they've had this year, they've committed 18 or less turnovers.
Boston all the way to the glass.
Great baseline move. And again, you have to wonder about the interior defense of Washington State right now.
Here's Fontaine, a blocking foul called on Hartman.
Okay, let's go back and take a look at Bryant Boston with this baseline move here. Just gives him a little shake, and there's nobody there. Got to get people from the weak side over there to stop that stuff.
Bryant Boston with 4 points. He's a redshirt junior out of Seattle's Garfield High School, the team's leading 3-point shooter. As we told you earlier, he set a Husky single-season steal record. He's averaging 2.5 steals a game, and he's already gotten that today. Fontaine at the line. When you talk about uncharacteristic, that is. He's a 79% free throw shooter, 4th best in the conference.
Yes, he's made 22 of his last 24 up until that miss.
Recovered quickly. Washington with a 2-point advantage in 12.5 minutes to play first half here in Seattle. Keith Shipman along with Mark Eaton. Pleased you could join us for this, the 238th meeting between these two clubs. They bill it as the Basketball Apple Cup. Hamilton, now Hartman on the wing for Washington. Low to Sanford.
Very nice lob pass from Booker.
Sanford may have gotten away with a push here, but a great pass from Booker.
All right, let's take a look at it, because it was a great pass either way. Here we see Sanford on the inside. He had his arm on him, but I don't think he pushed off. That was a great individual effort.
That sounds like a big man protecting a big man, Mark. 4 points for Sanford now. He missed the free throw, and here's Washington State trailing by 4. This is the Huskies' biggest lead of the game.
Yeah, more often than not, you will get that called. A hand on the back.
They're really doing battle down low. Vic and Hartman. Here's Griffin all the way. Vic over the top, couldn't get the rebound. Sanford did.
Very strong, rebounding it out to half court, and here we go. Oh, almost the alley-oop.
Sanford couldn't find the handle, and then he made a mistake, a freshman's mistake. He reached in the backcourt.
But you know, I know.
Mark Sanford and the rest of the Huskies go to the bench to talk things over with 11:43 to play first half. Time for our MCI proof positive replay. Let's have a look at Mark Sanford down low. Huskies moving the basketball effectively here.
Very nice play over the top. Nice land by Mark Sanford. Nice play.
Proof positive as to why he's been the Husky leader offensively the past couple of weeks for Bob Bender's club. Another steal by the Huskies. Booker on the line.
Big play.
And that's gotten the crowd into this game. Huskies with their biggest lead of 6 points.
The crowd is what the Huskies need to win here. There's no question about that. That was a big steal. A little bit of a gamble, but it paid off.
A whistle down low and a push off by Bryant Boston of Washington. Here's another look at the steal by the Huskies, which really brought the crowd into the game.
Yep, big jam here. Made a nice steal, jammed it, and the crowd goes to their feet. That's the stuff they like to see.
That's Jamie Booker, the 11th of 15 children in his family. Said to fight for everything growing up.
That's right. He's used to struggling.
That's Shimon Antrim. First 2 points of the day for Shimon Antrim.
Yes.
He registered a career high against UCLA at 29 points against the Bruins. Here's Boston in the lane.
Great play by Bryant Boston. Washington State has to be concerned about the penetration, the second shots. That is something that they don't usually give up.
That's usually what Washington State does to clubs. Carlos Daniel trying to go to the glass, and he's fouled by Hartman.
Okay, let's take a look at the foul here. Just reached over the top a little bit. and then Hartman bodied up underneath him. You need to just hold your position down there and make the guy go up over it. If he makes it, he makes it.
That's the 7th team foul against the Washington Huskies in this first half. Almost 10.5 minutes to play in the first. Carlos Daniel in the lineup now for Kevin Eastman's club. First-year Cougar head coach. Has become the first Washington State mentor to post a winning record in his first season since 1927. It's been a long time since a first-year coach has had this kind of success.
We had David Hawkins just come back in the game for Jamie Booker.
And the Huskies clear the rebound. Ahead to Boston, stolen away by Antrim. Slowed momentarily by Hamilton. Nice give to Chris Griffin. It's Griffin on the wing.
Great play. Shimon Antrim starting to get on fire here a little bit. It's Washington State's trying to turn up the defense.
It's a 4-point game. Pressure's what Washington State's all about. They like to extend the floor and make you pay for it.
Well, they've extended the floor, but they had a little problem with the interior here so far.
Cross-court pass to Boston. Now 15 on the shot clock.
Nice tempo control by the Huskies here.
Hartman a three.
Big play for the freshman out of Thousand Oaks, California.
And a traveling violation against Washington State, which is having all kinds of trouble hanging on to the basketball today.
They really are. I think, again, you talk about an interstate rivalry. There's just so much intensity and emotion here. Here, look at the turnovers down. They're up to 10 already.
And Kevin Eastman wants a 20-second timeout to talk things over with his club. And, you know, Bob Bender's got Washington State right where he wants them right now.
He really does. He got them a little bit worried, and their shooting is starting to tighten up. And the Huskies have to have a little bit more confidence now. It'll be an interesting rest of this half, that's for sure.
Now, Washington has been struggling a bit from outside. The three-point shot has not been one of their strengths, but Jason Hartman shows why he was a highly recruited freshman out of Thousand Oaks, California.
Yep, just got right down there in the corner. Nice big play, looked confident. That's showing a lot of poise for a freshman.
Remember the names Sean Tarver and Don McLean? That guy was a Ventura County MVP.
Look at the field goal percentage, which really is not indicative of the score.
Not at all.
Washington's already taken 20 field goal attempts.
Hawkins with a nice pass to Sanford. Sanford with 6 points. Huskies in front by 9. Upset brewing at Heckett. Here's Hendrickson, missed the lay-in.
Very uncharacteristic.
Hartman with a beautiful pass to Sanford and a block on Hendrickson, and that brings an interesting stare from Kevin Eastman.
Okay, let's take a look at this foul again. Hartman coming down. Nice pass inside to Stanford. Hendrickson just not there in time. If you're going to guard someone down low, you've got to get a body on them early, and you've got to get them out of that low post position. You can't let people post up right underneath the basket.
Jamie Booker returns for Washington, and there's Mark Hendrickson, who's picked up his second foul. Washington State can ill afford to have both he and Tavares Mack in foul trouble. Mack went to the bench early with 2 fouls.
Yeah, indeed, and I think we've seen the result of that in the improved play of David Hawkins.
7 points for Mark Sanford.
As well as Mark Sanford.
True enough. Cougars with a rebound, and here's Ellison to lead the break. Corcoran in the lineup to Hendrickson off the glass. That's a pretty pass, but a dangerous one.
A dangerous one indeed, but a nice pass and worked out well.
And Hendrickson in double figures now with 10 points. 11 minutes old, and the Huskies have an 8-point lead over their cross-state rival Washington State. Boston, now Hartman. Sanford with 10 on the shot clock, going low to Hartman. And we remind you to stay tuned for the Pizza Hut delivery of the game during the second half of today's broadcast from Heck Edmondson Pavilion. Washington State visiting Washington. Keith Chipman along with former NBA great Mark Eaton. Sanford got away with a little hop step there, may have traveled. Now he'll try the three. Hawken making things happen on the glass and makes a nice play. Heads-up play.
And that's a senior play. That's experience. Oh. Here we see the play again. Throws it right off the leg of Isaac Fontaine before he fell out of bounds.
Washington trying to build on an 8-point lead.
The Huskies much more confident in their set offense now.
There's Jamie Booker with a tray,
nice,
and it's an 11-point advantage with 8 minutes to play in the first half. Fontaine.
Oh.
Sanford with a rebound.
The Cougars forcing things a little bit here.
Hartman cross court. Boston with a look at a three. Goes baseline instead. And Washington State wants a timeout. Kevin Eastman is hot. His team trails by 13 points. 7.5 to play at Heck in Seattle. Washington's Bryant Boston has 8 points today. He's been an emotional leader for the Washington Huskies.
Yep, big lay-in there. Hendrickson needed to get over there and stop that one.
Last 2 minutes, Washington State 1 of 3 from the field, but the Huskies have been perfect. Washington shooting 50% for the game. The Cougars 67% from the game, but the Crimson and Gray have turned it over 10 times thus far. Antrim.
Nice to see him getting a little bit in the flow here. They need a big game out of him today.
He now has 4 points, and the Cougars are going to full court pressure. Hawken, Sanford, missed the lay-in. And a jump ball. Possession arrow goes to Washington.
A nice play by Booker, though, getting in there and tying him up.
So
Sanford with a pretty nice move, even though it didn't go in.
Oh, and that's off Hamilton. It'll be Washington State's basketball. Dominique Ellison with a heads-up play for the Cougars. 5 turnovers now for Washington. Boston returns for the Huskies, and Hartman will take a seat on the bench for Bob Bender's club. Washington with an 11-point lead, and that guy right there is a big reason. Bryant Boston having a tremendous day for the Huskies. Fontaine off his knee and out of bounds. Jamie Booker made it happen. He got a hand in there and knocked it off Fontaine's leg.
And the Cougars are... Let's take a look at it here. See if we can see it coming off his leg. Yeah. Ooh. Looks like we have maybe a little foul action as well in there.
Perhaps so. Here's Hamilton trying to break the press. To Boston. Over a couple of trees. Sanford tried to tap it in. Antrim pushing it up. 1-on-4 break. Hendrickson, and a traveling violation is called against Washington State. And Tavares Mack coming back now with 6.5 minutes to play and a couple of fouls. Kevin Eastman can't waste any more time.
No, they've got to shut down the middle. They've got to keep Washington off the boards down there. And Tavares Mack is a big part of that. Look at the turnovers now. Washington State 12, University of Washington 5.
Washington State with -4 in the turnover margin statistic ranks last in the Pac-10 conference. They're surrendering 4 more turnovers a game than their opponents this year.
A lot of that is their style, though. They like to push it up and down the court. And traditionally, will have a few more turnovers with a style like that.
Ike Fontaine went to the bench for the Cougars. He's holding his arm a bit and being examined with a trainer right now. 6 turnovers now for the Huskies. Griffin underneath. Mack knocked Hawken out of there. Just created a lane for himself, didn't he?
Tavares Mack gets the steal down here, makes a big play down there, making an impact already in the game for only, what, 5 seconds?
Hawken, Booker got clobbered, and he'll go to the line. There's your emotional leader for the Huskies. He has 8. Jamie Booker always gives this club a lift.
He does indeed. Nice pass by Hawken down the middle. Washington State just a little bit late getting there. Griffin comes up with a foul. If you're going to foul someone down there, you need to make sure they don't make the basket as well. Foul them. If you're going to foul them well.
Griffin with his first foul of the day, and here comes Jamie Booker. You didn't foul people too well when you were in the game, did you? You were always kind and gentle, weren't you?
No, in 12 years I never committed a foul.
Antrim bringing it up for Washington State. Well, you know a little bit about defense, too, having been the two-time Defensive Player of the Year in the NBA.
Well, that's what I did.
Griffin now Antrim for a three. He's been cold today.
Well, and Washington State is still struggling with their offensive structure a little bit. They're a little unsure. Guys are going in different directions. And, they really need to pull themselves together offensively as well as defensively.
Washington State with a fresh 35 on the shot clock.
Oh, almost another turnover there.
Hamilton tipped it away before Antrim took control of the basketball for Washington State. Hendrickson looked to the three. He'll give it up to Ellison. Boston with a rebound for the purple and gold. Ahead to Hawken. Sanford missed the lay-in. Hawken missed the tip. Antrim 3-on-2 break. Griffin the other way.
Now this is the kind of game Washington State would like to be in, pushing up and down the court.
And now Bob Bender wants a 20-second timeout. He doesn't want this to get going for Washington State. And now we start to hear from the Cougar crowd, which is here.
Yes.
You see the Washington State fans. Washington State's alumni base, about 50% of the students who attend Washington State come from the west side of the state. And a lot of them are here today. And the primary reason for the sellout is because a lot of Washington State students and alumni bought tickets here at Heckhead today.
Well, let's look at the Huskies here. Sanford can't quite get it in there. Hawken tries to follow it up. He's not there. Hendrickson with the rebound, but still. Cougars come back at the other end, and they do get it in.
Using the glass for the lay-in. The coaches like that, don't they?
Yes.
Mark and I will be selecting the Shuttle by United player of the game at the conclusion of today's contest. Stick around for that.
The Cougars with the full court press.
Booker
Washington very poised, though.
Hendrickson's gone to the bench for Washington State. David Vick in the lineup as they give second leading rebounder in the Pac-10 a breather. Boston. Ellison with a rebound, and he'll push it ahead for Washington State. Vick. Now Griffin. Hawken with a defensive effort down low for the Huskies. Hamilton ahead to Sanford. Oh. And that time, he didn't get a chance to make the shot because Ellison made sure of it.
He did. He fouled him well. And what a scramble we had down at the other end. There's a nice end of the play by Sanford. I'm just so impressed with his poise and how he handles himself out there on the court as a freshman. And then now we know why he's leading the Pac-10, all Pac-10 freshmen in scoring.
Sanford lists his hometown as Dallas, Texas. He played high school ball there for Kimball High and then moved to San Diego and led Lincoln Prep to the CIF Division IV state title as the player of the year in that division. There was an article in the newspaper this morning here in Seattle that said Sanford might be interested in transferring, but Bob Bender put a kibosh to that rumor in a hurry.
And I think it was one of his teammates that mentioned that. Sanford as well denied it.
Hartman tipped it in for Washington. Three-point play right there for the Huskies, who are in front by 12. Antrim got his own rebound on the floor, and Vick.
Nice play by Vick. Just put it right back up there. Didn't bring it down. Just followed the pass, took it right up in his hands, and put it in. And a smart play by Antrim.
Antrim knocked the ball away from Sanford there. And here's Ellison the other way. 2-on-1 break. Fontaine fouled by Hartman.
Fontaine going in there hard. Looked to me like Hartman had a position. Let's take a look at it here.
Toughest call for an official in basketball.
He was still moving a little bit. Could have gone either way, though.
Hendrickson returns for Washington State. Vick will go to the bench. Carlos Daniel returns for the Cougars as well. And Alex Lopez has checked in for the Washington Huskies. He was number 33. There's Jason Hartman, who's just picked up his third foul.
Yeah, he will have to come out. Here comes David Hawken in for him right now. But still, some very good play from Jason Hartman, a freshman out of Thousand Oaks, California.
There's a good look at Hawken, senior from Maple Valley. His father threw the discus here at Washington back in the late 50s and early 60s, and Fontaine, after that miss, seems to have found his rhythm once again.
And that's a big key. You know, the guys outside of Hendrickson, Antron and Fontaine, those are the other two guys that are so key for the Cougars, and they need to get it going.
3:56 to play here at Heck Edmondson Pavilion in Seattle. Kevin Eastman's Cougars trail the Huskies by 8. Time for our MCI proof positive replay. A scramble down low. Shimon Antrim ends up with his own rebound here and throws it to David Vick, who will finish for Washington State. Vick now 4 for 4. Proof positive that the Cougars are trying to get back in this thing. They trail by 8. 35-27 our score with 3:49 to play. First half. Keith Chipman along with two-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year Mark Eaton. Or Eaton that is. I apologize. Sir,
okay.
your name was never mispronounced in the NBA, was it?
It's kind of like Eastman. Close.
Irv Eatman? I'm sure. No.
UCLA.
Yeah, there you go.
Great football.
Your alma mater.
Oh, nice play. Brian Boston.
Bryant Boston. He's a redshirt junior from Seattle's Garfield High, and he has 10. Fontaine.
Nice three. But still, the Cougars are struggling defensively on the interior. They've got to be able to shut that down. They can't let that penetration continue.
Fontaine has 6.
Started going before he had the ball.
And Washington State's trying to whittle that lead. They trail by 7. 8 Husky turnovers now. That was Fontaine's first 3 today. He's the 3rd best three-point shooter in the Pac-10 Conference. Antrim back to Ellison, who pops a 3. There's Booker with a rebound. For such a small guy, he's 6'3", he sure comes up with the boards. Averages almost 4 a game.
And they're doing a nice job of only letting Washington State get 1 attempt each time down the floor.
Boston with the look. It's a 2. Hawken over the back of Hendrickson. That'll go the other way. David Hawken commits the foul. His second.
Here's a shot by Booker. David Hawken up over the back of Hendrickson there. Just a little too aggressive. Good hustle, but needed a little better position. 9th
team foul for Bob Bender's Huskies. Bob Bender, the head coach in his 2nd year here at Washington. The last time this building was sold out, he was an assistant coach for the Duke Blue Devils, the team that was here that night back in January of 1989. They made a return trip to Seattle that year. They came back for the Final Four, which Washington will host once again this year over at the Kingdome, April 1st and 3rd. And who's going to be here this year? Might it be UCLA? Might it be Arizona? Pac-10, I think, with a bona fide shot at having a Final Four team again, and UCLA, I think, with a chance to win the whole shooting match this year.
Yeah, they are playing extremely well right now.
Hendrickson offline, 5 of 7 from the line now. Antrim collects the rebound.
Nice play.
Antrim brings the Cougars within 4, and you can see it, feel the intensity being turned up by Washington State now. Cougar crowd getting into the game as well.
Hendrickson trying to get him pumped up a little bit.
2 minutes to play, first half in Seattle. Booker.
Oh.
And that brings the purple and gold fans back to their feet. Booker has 10. 6-point Husky lead. Hamilton will slow down the pace for Washington.
Carlos Daniel almost got in there and got that tip in, but I'll tell you, Washington State, they have had a tough time getting to the offensive glass.
And Ellison with a foul for Washington State. That's his 2nd. And Raycom is pleased to welcome our friends joining us on the Prime Network and the nationwide family of Prime's regional cable networks. Glad to have you with us today. We're in Seattle, Heck Edmondson Pavilion, the home of the University of Washington. This is affectionately known to state residents as the Basketball Apple Cup. Hendrickson clears the missed free throw. Fontaine. Antrim. Cougars showing a bit more patience now. 15 on the shot clock this possession. Minute 15 to play in the half.
Down to 5.
Antrim left-handed.
Oh, nice
rebound
offensive rebound. Isaac Fontaine, big play.
Huge play and a timeout called by the official. But for what reason? We're not exactly sure why.
Watch this rebound here by Isaac Fontaine. Pulls it in, goes back up on the other side. Great play. A lot of desire on his part.
Mark Reichland actually called that official's timeout to check on the status of Fontaine. He'd hurt himself earlier. He wanted to make sure he was okay.
Oh, okay.
Came out of there wincing a bit. That may have been why.
Well, he looked okay on that play to me.
Sure did. Lopez jump ball. Huskies in front by 6. First 2 for Alex Lopez. That's the time remaining in the half. An upset brewing in Seattle as the Huskies are in front of Washington State.
Alex Lopez, another freshman for the Washington Huskies, who's been averaging about 11 minutes a game lately. And I know they've been working on him in practice with that jump hook. Looks like it's starting to come around.
4 seconds fewer on the shot clock than on the game clock. And the Cougars wasted the possession.
Griffin got the ball down there. There was nowhere to go.
14 Cougar turnovers in the first half. A little housekeeping duty to take place. 12 seconds now. The balance of this first half. Kevin Eastman, his club faced with a situation they're not accustomed to of late. His team trailing by 6 points. A game they need to win to keep their NCAA postseason hopes alive. Hamilton working on Griffin. He'll take the shot. And the first half comes to an end in Seattle with the Washington Huskies in front by 6. Kevin Eastman, not a happy man going to the dressing room, but that guy Bob Bender is.
No question. It's not the expected score at this point in the game. Kevin Eastman, I'm sure, will have a few words with his players about the interior defense and getting back and being a little bit more poised on the offensive end of the court.
We'll come back with halftime activities from Heck Edmondson Pavilion following this timeout. Time now for our Ford game plan for the second half. Mark, what do you got?
Well, I think some of the things that are big key for Washington State, they cannot continue to have these mental lapses. They've had 14 turnovers thus far. That's a real key, and they need to get to the foul line. The games they've been successful in recently, they've done a much better job of getting to the foul line thus far today. They've only been there 8 times, and the other team has been there, the Huskies have been there 11.
Now, how about for the Huskies?
The Huskies, they need to shut down the three-pointers, which they're doing a good job of. Washington State only 1 for 4 thus far. They need to take care of the ball. They only have 8 turnovers. They're doing that so far, and they are controlling the tempo.
Certainly are, and they lead by 6 as the second half gets underway here at Heck Edmondson Pavilion in Seattle. Washington State with possession to start the second half. Ellison on the floor with Antrim and Fontaine. You got Mack and Hendrickson in the front court. Hendrickson has it dribble off his leg and out of bounds, and that's the 15th Cougar turnover.
I don't think that's what Coach Eastman had in mind for the first possession out of the block, so.
Booker starting the backcourt for Washington in the second half. Boston, Hamilton as well, and you've got Sanford and Hawken up front. Boston all alone for a 3. He's been looking to take that shot more often this season.
He's looking very confident today out there.
He has 13 to lead all scorers. Fontaine baseline, tried to dunk it. He's called for an offensive foul.
And one of the things Washington State has to realize is they can't get all the points back in one play. You've got to take it one basket at a time and work your offense, do the things you're good at, and don't get caught up in what the score is.
That's the second foul on Ike Fontaine. That's a real good point. Chip away a little bit at a time. Booker.
Over tough defense by Antrim.
And the horn sounded for a reason unknown. Not exactly certain why. having some problems with the clock. And while they're doing the resourceful work to correct the problem, let's have a look at the first half scoring leaders.
And again, Hendrickson with 11 points for Washington State, Fontaine with 8, Antrim well below the average that he's been setting over the last 3 games. David Vick doing a nice job coming in off the bench, scoring a couple of key baskets, and Griffin with 4.
And for Washington, we'll have a look at second half, or actually this is first half statistics. Boston and Booker led the Huskies in the first half. Boston now has 13, Booker has 12, and Sanford with 8.
Again, a big game out of the freshman.
Well, they're apparently having a problem with one of the scoreboards here at Heck Edmondson Pavilion, so they're now directing the teams just to look at the clock overhead. This is the scoreboard they'll now look to for the official game time. Well, it might work out for Washington State. They may need a little more time to get back in this thing.
That's right. Every other extra second they can find, they'll take, I'm sure.
Actually, they're now saying that the clocks behind the baskets are going to be the official time clocks. Washington State trailing Washington by 11. Ellison beneath to Tavares Mack, had it stripped away by Boston. Hamilton
taking it right to him. Washington State still having a problem with the middle. Kevin Eastman called for a 20-second timeout now.
And this is as perplexed as I've seen Washington State all year.
Yes, they really, normally they play with so much poise, and they are really having a difficult time today with some of the basic fundamental things, just closing up the paint and getting a hand up on shots.
Let's have a look at the steal once again by Bryant Boston, the Huskies single-season steal leader.
Mack puts it on the floor and turns with it down low. Boston with a big steal there. You know, big men, they always tell you, keep the ball high. You hear it your whole life as a big man.
Washington State yet to attempt a field goal in this half. The Huskies, a perfect 3 for 3. Enough talk about the NCAA right now. If Washington State doesn't win today, they won't have to worry about the NCAA. They'll be talking about NIT. Fontaine for 3. Mack
almost at the rebound.
Got shoved aside, and Hawken picked up the rebound for the Huskies. Nice pass by Hawken. Booker is going to be whistled for a walk.
That was a nice play, though. Nice backdoor cut by Booker. Great look by David Hawken. That's a nice look. Booker. Yep, one extra step there.
And the 9th Washington turnover of the game. Hendrickson was the person they were trying to get the basketball to, and it turns into a football scrimmage down there.
I think we have a foul on Bryant Boston there. Again, Washington State trying to force things a little bit.
That's going to be the second personal foul on Bryant Boston. First team foul against the Huskies in this the second half. Antrim and now Ellison top of the circle. This is as well as Washington's played all season, Mark, and we heard Bob Bender say yesterday that he felt his club played its best game against Washington State in Pullman this year.
Oh, it's always an emotional, intense game in an interstate rival like this.
Fontaine all the way to the ring.
Good penetration by Isaac Fontaine.
And he's in double figures with 10 points. Huskies.
That's what they need to do. They have to keep going right at the Huskies and get to the foul line.
Washington trying to add to its 11-point lead. Hamilton by Ellison.
Hendrickson with a big rebound there.
Hendrickson had a look at the jumper. Now Antrim will pop a 3 that's way off the mark. Antrim has been just stone cold today.
He has really struggled. But when that happens, what you have to do is get back and play good defense. Play good defense, good things will happen for you.
Booker on the wing. 15 on the shot clock for Washington. Sanford. And now Booker. 10 on the shot clock. Boston missed the lay-in. And here comes Washington State. Huskies doing a nice job in the transition. That turned out to be a 1-on-3 break, and the Cougars wisely bring it back out top. Fontaine forces a shot. Sanford threw it right to Hendrickson. Freshman mistake. Now a whistle and a foul on Sanford.
Let's take a look at the baseline drive by Antrim. Little hang time here, double clutch. Sanford with the foul.
And 3 fouls on Sanford. He's going to go to the bench as Jason Hartman returns for Washington. Rob Corcoran will check in for Kevin Eastman's Washington State Cougars, and Tavares Mack will now go to the bench. Mack playing with 2 fouls in this game as well. Got those 2 early, and Washington made its run while Mack sat on the bench. Antrim, a 75% free throw shooter. He has 7 points today. Got both ends. 15:43 to play in regulation here at Heck Edmondson Pavilion in Seattle, and we'll be right back with more Pac-10 action after this word from Gillette, which presents the Pac-10 here on Raycom. Washington pushing it up with 15.5 minutes to play in regulation. Hartman with a lay-in.
Another big-time play for the freshman.
An 11-point Washington lead. The Huskies trying to snap a 4-game losing streak to their cross-state rival. Antrim to Corcoran. He's working on Jason Hartman. Off the glass. Rob Corcoran, redshirt senior from Spokane Shadle Park High School, a team captain, his first 2 points of the night. Boston lobbing to Hawken, and he missed the jam.
Tried to one-hand it when he probably should have used 2.
Fontaine. Now Corcoran. Hendrickson had it stripped away, and it'll be Washington State's basketball on the baseline.
And Hendrickson has to be cautious when he has a smaller man on him like that when he does put the ball on the floor. It's easy pickings for the guards.
Booker's given up about 6 inches there. Hendrickson 6'9", Booker 6'3". Hendrickson. And he's just a junior from Mount Vernon. Matter of fact, the entire starting lineup from Washington State does not feature a senior. They'll all be back next year.
And a fine team they will be.
But right now, this experienced group having some trouble against a team they should beat, the Washington Huskies. Bob Bender's got his club playing at an emotional high today in front of a sold-out house. First time it's been sold out since 1989. Hawken had the shot blocked by Fontaine. Cougars trailing by 7. They've not led since early in the first half. Antrim missed the shot. Hartman with a rebound.
Ran into a wall of white jerseys. That's what the Cougars need to do at the other end.
Boston. Big time play from Bryant Boston. Hendrickson, a 3 on the way, got it. One of the areas that Kevin Eastman wants him to improve upon is his outside shooting. He says he's a 3-shot shooter, wants him to become a 3-point maker.
Exactly. They need a few more from him today.
He has 16 now. It's a 6-point game. Hartman backing in on Corcoran. Booker collects another rebound and a fresh 35 for Washington.
Isaac Fontaine needs to get his body on him and keep him off the glass.
Boston offline and a 3. Hartman with a rebound. And he dribbled the ball out of bounds.
So I think Coach Bender wants a foul there, but nevertheless, a great hustle play.
That's 12 turnovers for the Huskies now.
It is pretty tough to tell from that angle exactly what happened.
Washington State trailing by 6 with 12.5 minutes to play. Mack back in the game for Washington State. Now Ellison, 15 on the shot clock. Shot clock in your lower left-hand corner. Hendrickson.
Gonna have to throw it up.
Mack stole away. And there's a hard
nice
stopper,
play.
and Bob Bender wanted to travel. And now a foul in the back court. And that's going to be on Washington State's Shimon Antrim. Bob Bender and his Washington Huskies are giving fits to the Washington State Cougars, who've closed the gap to 4 with 11:45 to play. Here's what's happening in the field goal department. Bear in mind that Washington began the half 3 of 3. Hendrickson tried to make the play but couldn't get it done.
Ended up throwing around Mark Sanford instead of at him.
Kevin Eastman blessed with a guy like Mark Hendrickson.
Just tried to throw it. Yep, he was already out of bounds by the time he hit him with it.
Here's Booker. And now Boston top of the circle. Sanford back in the lineup, playing with 3 fouls. He's being guarded by Tavares Mack. Boston turning around. Got it.
Nice face-up jumper.
Bryant Boston with 17. Griffin right back to answer Boston's call. Still a 4-point game. Hartman to Sanford, had it knocked away by Griffin. A whistle and a foul down low.
The Cougars are still struggling with the baseline stuff. They seem to not be able to close off that baseline with their big men or with their guard. Their guard has to come down and make the play and stop that, which would have been a dunk.
Sanford got the front end. This telecast presented by authority of the University of Washington. It's intended solely for the private use of our audience, and any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express prior written consent of the University of Washington is prohibited. Another foul.
Another foul, but a big play. Big play by Hartman here, getting the inside position.
That's the third on Tavares Mack. But with 10:43 to play, Kevin Eastman will leave him in the ballgame. Sanford off the glass. Pretty shot.
Beautiful shot.
And now Washington being warned to leave the basketball alone once it comes through the net. That's the first warning. The next time, that's a technical foul. 7-point Husky lead.
Tavares Mack has to be able to shut down that baseline again. That's so critical.
Sanford now with 11 points. He's 4 of 13 from the field today. Ellison, Antrim. Sanford got a hand on it. Griffin with a recovery.
Nice recovery. And he hits
And a
three.
And it's a 4-point game once again. Hamilton bringing it up for Washington. Breaks the press. Sanford really trying to go after Tavares Mack now, who has 3 fouls. Hartman backing it on Hendrickson, gives to Sanford. Off the fingertips of Washington State's Shimon Antrim and out of bounds. Huskies will control at the baseline with 15 seconds on the shot clock. Sanford in the middle. Had it stripped away. Antrim comes up with it. 2-on-2 break. Antrim all the way to the glass. Mack over the top to keep it alive. Boy, they're letting a lot go today, aren't they, Mark? Letting them play.
Some good clean steals in there, though. Guys just knocking the ball out of other players' hands.
And now Bob Bender instructs his team to calm down, reset, take some time off the clock with a 4-point lead and 9:20 to play. Booker backing in, and a blocking foul is called on Washington State's Chris Griffin. That'll be his third. And Washington State will go to its bench. They'll bring Ike Fontaine back into the lineup. He's going to give Shimon Antrim a breather. Tavares Mack goes to the bench now as Rob Corcoran returns. Booker got the front end. David Hawken returns now as Hartman will take a seat. Jamie Booker with 13 points today, well above his season average.
And he's gotten it both inside and outside.
Sure has.
Playing a great all-around game today.
Ellison pops a three and misses. Hawken collects the rebound. 10 rebounds for David Hawken today. Hamilton, past Griffin, pops up a shot that won't go.
Another foul on Griffin.
And he'll go to the free throw line. That will be Griffin's fourth foul.
Now let's take a look at it again. Baseline drive once again. It was maybe a ticky-tack foul.
There wasn't much contact there. We've seen a lot more contact today.
And a costly one for the Cougars.
Who have now committed 16 fouls in the second half. Shimon Antrim returns to the lineup. Tavares Mack remains on Washington State's bench with 3 fouls. Hamilton got the free throw. Jason Hamilton grew up in Renton, went to Hazen High School, performed at San Diego State his freshman year. He was a Western Athletic Conference Freshman of the Year before transferring into Bob Bender's program, and he now has 4 points.
Nice play. Bob Bender wants to keep this game in the 60 to 70 point range, and so far they've been able to do that. He feels if they get in a run and gun game with Washington State, they won't have a chance, and thus far they're living up to everything that he's asked of them.
With 8.5 minutes to play, his Huskies have the lead. Back up to 8 points. Hawken with his 11th rebound. He's done a great job underneath on Hendrickson today. Booker! Jamie Booker having the game of his life.
That got the fans up off their feet. Kevin Eastman, another timeout.
Washington State is stunned. They trail Washington by 10 with 8:09 to play in Seattle. Eight minutes, 9 seconds remain at Heck Edmondson Pavilion in Seattle. Cougars still shooting better than 50% from the field, but they've got a lot of work to do, trailing by 8.
They got an easy one there, though, as they caught the Huskies asleep.
Boston bringing it up against the pressure. Bob Bender's done a great job coaching his team today. Booker. Hartman. That's off Corcoran. It should be Washington's basketball.
Can't say enough about the job Washington Huskies are doing inside on the boards offensively. David Hawken and everyone else out there really putting their bodies on the Cougars and coming up with some big plays.
The Huskies presently out-rebounding their cross-state rival 28-24. That was not the case in the first game this season when the Cougars out-rebounded Washington 33-19. Ellison. Cougars got a lot of work to do, and boy, they got a blistering from their coach during the last timeout.
Tough call.
It'll be a block on Hawkins. That's 3 on Hawkins, who has 11 rebounds in this game.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, I really think this is his last game playing the Cougars. He's a senior, and he has put everything out there on the floor today.
Jason Hartman goes to the bench for Washington. A whistle down low, and there's the 4th foul on Mark Sanford.
They let him get away with a push, but not with the knee up the rear end.
That's an interesting description.
There's really not any other way to describe it.
So Sanford has to go to the bench.
The knee up the rear end.
6:54 to play now. Hartman back in the lineup. He replaces Sanford, who's gone to the bench with 4 fouls. Hartman missed the shot, got his own rebound. Hendrickson blocked it. Booker with another rebound and a fresh 35. Boston leaning in, and a whistle and a foul on the Huskies.
But still, you can't say enough about the job the Huskies are doing on the offensive board. Each time down the court, they're getting 2 and 3 opportunities at the basket. The Cougars just cannot afford that.
And Washington State, conversely, getting just 1 shot in this game, and that's been their downfall today. They're shooting 54% from the field, but they're not getting the second shots they're so accustomed to. Hendrickson working on Hawkins. Ellison, nice pass to Matt. Wow.
Jason Hartman took a gamble there and tried to get around and get the steal, and he paid for it.
Tavares Matt has 8 points. Have some confusion at the scorer's table right now, and as the officials find out what's going on, they've charged a 20-second timeout to the Washington Huskies. That's what's happened, a 20-second timeout to the Washington Huskies. And while they take that timeout, let's go back to our Pizza Hut delivery of the game, Mark Eaton, and have a look at Washington's Jamie Booker.
Again, we talked about the baseline, great pass, up the lane, nice slam by Booker, got the fans going. The Husky fans are loving it.
Yeah, that delivery of the game came with a lot of extra cheese on it. Jamie Booker with 16 points, 1 off of his career high of 17, which he established against the Oregon Ducks earlier this year. There's a good look at the young man from Portageville, Missouri.
Playing like all world today.
Washington State on a 6-0 scoring run the last minute and 50 seconds. That's brought them within 4 points, but they haven't been able to get over the hump. The last time Washington State led this game was the 13:42 mark of the first half.
And you have to remember as well that last week against the Oregon State Beavers, Washington survived a 20-0 run by the Beavers and still won the game.
Very good point. Full court pressure from Washington State. Hamilton in the game for the Huskies. Hartman down low, around Matt.
You have to remember we're watching a freshman play here.
Playing beyond his years. He has 22 games under his belt now. Matt had it knocked away by Hartman. Kevin Eastman showing frustration on the Cougars sideline after his team commits its 19th turnover. Hartman looked at the 3, lobs instead to Sanford, who got it.
Tavares Mack has to get him out of that low post area. He has to get him out of his comfort zone if he's going to have any chance.
Lead back up to 8 now, and Sanford has 13 points in the game for Washington. Hendrickson and a blocking foul called on Booker.
Booker looks like he has hurt his back a little bit there. Hendrickson, Booker with the block.
Hendrickson dropped the shoulder in there,
dropped
too.
The shoulder a little bit there.
Matter of position or who initiated the contact. Again, getting back to the toughest call in basketball for an official. And they, of course,
always a tough one.
They, of course, don't have the benefit of these monitors that we all have in front of us at our homes.
And quite often they're looking at the position of the defensive player and don't always see the offensive contact.
Cougars on the baseline with 5:07 to play in regulation. This series has seen overtime games. Cougars might like to see that now. Hendrickson inside, and a foul whistled, which will send, I believe, Hendrickson to the free throw line. Foul's going to be whistled on Hartman. Hartman whistled for the foul.
All right, let's take a look at it here. There's Hendrickson, turns inside. Hartman, oh boy.
A little reach in there. Well, that's a real tough ball. Yeah.
Might have got a fingernail on him.
And for Hartman, that is his 4th foul. 17th foul against Washington. Hendrickson misses, the normally reliable Hendrickson. He shoots 77% from the line.
Yeah, they're finally getting to the foul line, and now they need to start making the shots, especially with 4:55 remaining in the game.
Tell you what, that rebounding total is interesting, too. He's the league's 2nd leading rebounder, and he has just 3 thus far. Averages better than 9 a game. Has 17 points today.
Well, the Huskies haven't given him too many opportunities to get in there, that's for sure.
Sanford, and a foul out top.
Looked like Hendrickson got the foul.
Hendrickson will be whistled for the foul. That'll be his 3rd.
Sanford doing a tremendous job. Just so much poise for a freshman.
His career high is 27 against Oregon.
Which was last week.
True enough. Kevin Eastman looking perplexed, and Bob Bender cautiously, ever so cautiously optimistic. A 9-point Washington lead. There's the game time. Antrim all the way to the glass, and a blocking foul called. The basket will count, and Booker will be whistled for the foul.
Here's the drive by Antrim. Booker comes over, just brought his arms down a little bit. But I still have to commend him for coming over there and being willing to take that charge.
That's the 3rd on Booker. That's the 10th point now for Shimon Antrim, who's been Washington State's scoring leader the past 3 games. They've done a nice job keeping him under the reins today.
Very much so. He has not had very much free space to work with. Every time he goes around a pick, there's somebody there waiting for him.
Now 11 for the young man from New Haven, Connecticut. Cougars applying full court pressure. A trail by 6. Huskies trying to ward off a comeback attempt by their cross-state rival. Boston off the glass. Tremendous day for Bryant Boston. He has 19. Hartman stepped in front of Hendrickson. That's
nice
20
steal.
Cougar turnovers.
It was a nice tip by Hartman.
.15 on the shot clock. Ahead to Antrim, and he'll finish.
Nice double team by Antrim down at the other end. Gets the turnover and finishes it as well.
13 for Antrim. The lead is 6 for Washington with 3:23 to play.
The Huskies still doing a good job of controlling the tempo of the game. They're coming down, they're using the shot clock, they're making the Cougars play defense for 25, 30 seconds before they get a shot.
One thing Bob Bender told us yesterday is that his team has to play 40 minutes, not 38, not 37, 40. And now the Cougars have it blocked.
Oh, wow.
Jamie Booker.
Tremendous block by Jamie Booker.
Kevin Eastman wanted goaltending, and he didn't get it, and he's going to get a 20-second timeout, and Eastman may get himself a technical foul. He may have a good point. He may have a good point.
Let's see if he... Boy,
that
really
ball may have been on the glass. Tough call. We'll be back to Heck in Seattle. Washington State 14-2 when they shoot better than 50% from the field. Today they're shooting better than 50%, but they trail by 6 with 2:40 to play. So stats don't mean a darn thing in cross-state rival games, do they, Mark Eaton?
No, they don't. It's the little things, the loose balls, it's the defensive plays. That's what makes a difference in a game like this. Things that don't show up on the stat sheet.
Boston leaning in. Hendrickson with a rebound, and here comes Washington State. Cougars haven't been able to get over the hump. Corcoran ignites the Washington State crowd here, and the Cougars will apply full court pressure. Corcoran with 6.
It'll be interesting to watch the Huskies here. Are they poised? They go for a quick shot.
They'll try to take time off the clock. Now 18 on the shot clock. Shamon Antrim stripped it away momentarily. Hartman has to throw up a shot. Hendrickson was fouled by Hawken, who came over the back. For Hawken, that will be his 4th foul. And Washington's leading rebounder now in foul trouble with 1:48 to play. Actually, that's 5 fouls on David Hawken. 5, I beg your pardon. He's gone. Finishes with 12 rebounds today and 6 points. He's been the guy who has really countered Tavares Mack and Mark Hendrickson down low.
He has played very well thus far in this game, in a big, big game. It's tough to lose him at this time. Just up, he's next to Hendrickson, but just gets a shoulder over the back again. And they've lost him at a critical time here in the game.
Hendrickson will go to the line to look at Hawkins' rebounding totals. Hendrickson misses. The Cougars not taking advantage of their opportunity.
That is a big miss by Hendrickson.
That's a career high of 12 rebounds for David Hawken, by the way. Big day for the young man from Maple Valley, Washington. Playing in his final basketball Apple Cup game. Less than a minute and a half to play now. Huskies trying to take time off the clock, clinging to a 4-point lead. Hamilton driving, threw up a poor shot. Oh, and there's a traveling violation. Hendrickson says we were tipping it around.
Yeah, but they're both moving down the court at the same time.
So another opportunity by the Washington State Cougars tossed aside. That's their 21st
Do you want
turnover.
it? I've got it. No, you got it. The feet were moving all the time. That's what they call it for.
There's a steal by Washington State. Ellison all the way, blocked by Booker. Oh my! Jamie Booker has made 2 huge blocks the last 3 or 4 minutes of this game. Ellison low to Hendrickson, who got fouled.
Gets fouled as well.
Washington State with a chance to pull within 1. And here's what Bob Bender talked about yesterday. 40 minutes, not 39.
Exactly. And we're showing a little bit let up here on the part of Washington. Here's the play. Hendrickson, they let him get down the middle. Gets the 3-point play. Needs to make this free throw. Missed a couple here down the stretch. 2-point ball game with 1:07 to go.
Dominique Ellison has just set a Washington State single season assist record. He has 7 today. And Washington State within 1. And now this crowd is on its feet. Cougars will have another possession. That's the game clock on your screen. Boston.
Oh, big shot. Big shot by Bryant Boston.
3-point game. Boston with 21.
Oh, what a play. What a play.
Booker to Sanford the other way. Oh. 35 seconds to play. There's a foul, and it's going to be an offensive foul. Washington is going to snap this 4-game losing streak to their cross-state rival. And Bob Bender wants a timeout to keep his team calm and understand their role. 30 seconds left, still plenty of time. But the Huskies are on the verge of a huge upset in Seattle. Bryant Boston is our Shuttle by United player of the game with 21 points, 3 steals, 10 of 21 from the field, and the big bucket to give the Huskies a 5-point lead. He has had a huge day. More than you bargained for. It's Bryant Boston. 11 of those points coming in the second half for Washington. That's a good look at the young man who has been a calming influence for the purple and gold today. So let's set the stage. 30 seconds left. Washington in front by 5. This game can be won by Washington State. A couple of threes will do it. But they need to get the ball back. They foul Hartman. Not a bad person to foul. He's just a 56% free throw shooter. Tavares Mack with 4 fouls now.
And I'm not sure Bob Bender wanted Hartman with the ball, a freshman, on the baseline at this point in the game.
That young man has done a tremendous job coaching his team today and for the past 2 years. He'll get it turned around here in Seattle, but it's going to take some time. He didn't inherit the kind of club that Kevin Eastman has. Eastman did a tremendous job just to keep this club intact at the start of the season.
Nice free throw by Hartman there. Took his time, took a deep breath.
Got them both.
Got them both.
Cougars need 3 in a hurry. They can't waste time. Ellison will be whistled for a foul in the backcourt. And Washington State's NCAA postseason hopes are probably going to be dashed here in Seattle today. They needed to win at least 3 of their last 5. Kevin Eastman felt his team needed to get to 10 wins, more likely 11. They have 8 in the Pac-10 right now, but they needed to win this game, a game they should have won.
No question about that. And you can't say enough about the guard line of Washington as well. All 3 of them have been willing to go down in the paint and get the big rebounds, just as we saw Hamilton do there.
Hamilton will go to the line. Max goes to the bench with 5 fouls. Corcoran will return. More significantly, Washington will snap a 4-game losing streak to its cross-state rival and avoid a sweep by the Cougars for the 2nd straight year. Hamilton misses.
Jason Hamilton shoots his 2nd shot.
And the 2nd on the way. 14 seconds remaining. They'll put pressure on Ike Fontaine. They need 3s. Corcoran.
This will just be a huge win for the Washington Huskies.
And another foul with 6 seconds left to play. Bob Bender and his fans and his team can celebrate one of the biggest victories of their 2-year tenure here at Washington. And Kevin Eastman and his club will fly back to Pullman tonight, obviously very disappointed that they didn't get the job done here in Seattle today. Well, if there's one good thing for Washington State today, it's the fact that Arizona, the 13th ranked team of the country, is way out in front of Oregon. 7 minutes left in that contest. Antrim, an air ball, and Washington has pulled off the upset. Our final score today, Washington upsets Washington State 78-72.